All right, let's do a little golfing with Glasser, talk a little Scottish Open here on Send It In. And we're at Royal Portrush for the Open Championship, which starts on Thursday. They didn't play it. They played at this course back in 2019. Before that, they hadn't played at this course all the way back since the 50s. So obviously, a lot of people are going to use the data that we got from the 2019 Open Championship when Shane Lowry won here at Royal Portrush. It's a par 71 golf course, 7,344 yards. Shane Lowry that week shot 15 under par to win the Open Championship. In second place behind him was Tommy Fleetwood at 9 under par. Then you had Tony Finau, Lee Westwood at 6 under, bunch of guys at 4 under, bunch of guys at 3 under. So it was just one of those weeks where everybody was kind of jumbled up, and Shane Lowry was just so good. He separated himself from the pack, winning by 6 shots. Shane Lowry back in 2019, what he did the best was he was such a good player off the tee, was so good in the wind, was so good at hitting those little low stingers. You know, a lot of guys are going to struggle this week with those high ball flights that they have that might get caught up in the wind. They're calling for rain just about all 4 days at Portrush. The course is right off the sea. There's obviously going to be wind elements that they're dealing with all week, so you better have a guy that can control his golf ball in the wind and hit those low stingers and bullets when he needs to. You also need a guy that's great scrambling around the greens at Portrush. That's one of my big takeaways. You look at a lot of these guys that were towards the top of the leaderboards. Shane Lowry's got a great short game. Tommy Fleetwood has a great short game. Robert McIntyre, Terrell Hatton, Ricky Fowler, Patrick Reed, all these guys back in 2019 that were in contention. Very good scramblers, very good chipping, all those kinds of things. So those are really the two big things I'm looking at this week. Need a guy who can get up and down around the greens, and also somebody who can really control their ball off the tee, and it's preferred if they can hit some of those low flight shots. One of the best things about the Open is that this feels like year after year the most wide open of all the majors, because we've seen guys in their 40s and 50s win this event before. We've seen shorter hitters win this event before. Because of the elements and because of those pot bunkers, it's the great equalizer against some of these longer hitters on the tour and around the world. So I would keep an eye on those two things. Some golfers that interest me this week as we head to Royal Portrush. Certainly Russell Henley is a guy I have my eye on. I think he's probably the golfer now that maybe is the most similar to what Shane Lowry was back in 2019. Russell Henley's as accurate as they come, so good in the wind, the rain, and he's great around the green. So Russell Henley, 45-1, guy that I have my eye on. Sepp Straka's been unbelievable this year. He's all Austrian, so he's European, familiar with link-style type golf, playing in elements, these kind of courses. Had a great season, great ball striker, really good player. I think he's somebody to watch this week. How about Brooks Koepka at 55-1? I know Brooks Koepka hasn't been a factor in the majors the last couple of years, but he has played better here recently. He showed some flashes at Oakmont, but the key with Brooks this week is his caddy, Ricky Elliott, who's a guy who's from Northern Ireland, grew up right by the course at Royal Portrush. I remember when they played here 6 years ago, when Brooks was at the peak of his powers in all these majors, and he was one of the favorites. Post-round, Brooks was getting interviewed. They asked him, how many shots did you ask Ricky Elliott about during your round today? Brooks said, all of them. So having Ricky Elliott on his bag is going to be a big advantage for Brooks this week as he tees it up. I'd also look at Adam Scott at 66-1, guy who's playing really good golf, could contend here. And then Cam Young, another one at 80-1. Cam Young loves playing at the Open. He's one of the hotter golfers in the world right now. He's played in 3 Open championships. He's finished in the top 10 in 2 of them. So keep an eye on Cam Young at 80-1 this week as well.